Talk Radio.
Oh, I almost missed that recording of Blog Talk Radio. Actually, she says Blog Talk Radio. It's so regal and so lovely. And this is your host, Dr. Dove Carlin, here with my lovely co host, Tessa Greenspan. Good morning, Tessa.
Good morning.
Are you having a lovely day?
I am having a wonderful day. Yes.
So, today, all right, let's start at the beginning. This is the K Factor on Blog Talk Radio, where K equals kindness, and the factors are all the things that lead to it. And I think that all the factors are, like an endless array of things. But what I do every time I come on here to do an episode of it, I bring you someone lovely. And that's the kindest thing that I can think to do is just keep delivering the gift of the presence of those who are important and precious to me. And Tessa is at the top of the list.
Oh, thank you.
You were my first co-host when I was signing this up. You were my first idea. Remember?
Well, good. Yes, I do.
So today, this is interesting because Tessa and I do a number of different things together, and so now we're authoring in the same realm. So we are both authors in a book called One Habit.
Yes.
One Habit. And so, post COVID, what is the one habit that everybody can engage in? And she wrote her piece, and I wrote my piece. And, what's the one thing you would say to people, and what's the to do and to not to do? And so, this dovetails perfectly with what we're talking about today, because today we're talking about persistence.
Yes. Which is a big word. And it would be really good for everyone to just think about what is persistence? Persistence means that you're going to continue no matter what happens. You're going to be overcome so many obstacles and never quit.
It's really exactly what our book is about, which is one habit.
Yes.
Persistence is based on your perception, your desire, your thought process, the passion in your heart for it. And then you just drive that vehicle every day.
Yes. And it takes practice. It takes determination, and it takes a decision, making a decision to be persistent.
Absolutely.
It really is working on yourself every single day. It's really the attributes that most successful people have. They don't quit when things get tough. They don't quit when things look terrible. They find solutions rather than just caving in and thinking, well, I can't do it, or this will never change, or whatever. It's really always looking for the end game, not just now. What is your end game? What is your end goal of what you want? So it's being persistent to get to that goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because when you think about habits, everything is about what it is you've got going on in this beautiful mind, right?
Yeah.
And in this beautiful mind, if you start out with the end in mind, this goes back to our buddy Stephen Covey, Habits of Successful People. There's 7
Yeah.
of them that he identified. I love that body of work that he did because it gives us a context. Always think win-win. If it's good for me, how do I make it good for you? And then think with the end in mind, and our end in mind, like this show of ours is persistence, and it's a habit. We come in here every week on Tuesday and we do the show. And what's our end goal? We want people to live a good life and feel better.
Absolutely. And that really is both of our goals in life, is for everyone to live full out, enjoy your life, and have fun along the way. Yes.
Every day.
Every single day.
Yeah, because you
And
don't know if you even get this afternoon. Like, wake up and have fun.
that's so true. And enjoy it. I have songs that I sing every day, and it just really uplifts me. And I would like to encourage all people who feel a little down to turn on happy music that really helps you to come up a little bit. it will change your mood from, oh, doom and gloom to happiness. Either happiness of what, when you were young, the music that you love, happiness of happy songs. You know, I have 5 songs myself that I sing every day. And then I have others that I sing. So it's really, it helps me and it helps those around me.
You know, one of the things that we do have the capacity to do on this show, and as long as I've been doing it, I haven't exercised all the options, right? But one of the things we do have the capacity to do is we can do the chat box. So I am going to, in here today, in our chat box, I'm going to write down, um, for our audience that's listening right now. Um, Today is about persistence and habits. So, uh, sing daily. Um,
Gratitude, what you're grateful for, is
yeah,
really the top most important thing. Is every single day, if you wake up and say thank you, thank you, find the things that you're grateful for, you know, that you can look out, that you can see the snow, that I can see the rain, the sun, and the warmth. I'm rubbing it in.
it's so funny because Tessa and I are often in the same city and then many times in different cities. And right now, I'm in the Midwest. I'm up in Chicago. And I was laughing before we came live and said, I'm so happy we have snow. And I've been watching it all night. And the lake, the waves are wild and it's really neat. And we're supposed to get, I think these waves right now, by the way, are about probably 15 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe 10 feet. I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to know? I'm not going to go out there and measure. But it's cold. It's snowy. The wind is blowing. There's like a whistling that's coming in here, you know. People might hear it in the background on our recording. And as soon as I said that, Tessa said, I'm so glad I'm not there.
Yes, yes. I said I'll look at the photos.
Right?
Yes.
I'll enjoy
Mhm,
it from afar.
mhm.
And
Yes.
it's so funny because I feel that way about Arizona. You know, it's like too dry for me. I like the moisture.
Okay, well, you stay there and I'll stay here and we'll just have this really great time.
Exactly. Appreciating one another's differences. So, gratitude, absolutely. You know what I did this morning? You know, I started my day. This was absolutely delicious. I luxuriated in a warm bed, on an earthing mat that I got from earthing.com, with an earthing cover on my pillow. And so I'm all plugged in, right? So I'm getting the experience of grounding. And I'm looking out these giant windows at the lake. And I snuggled into my blankies and the whole scene in there in warm pajamas, you know, because you're warm from the night. And I thought, this is magic.
Well, how it's wonderful to be grateful for that, because there are people who do not have that. So it's so important to just luxuriate in the warmth, the nice bed, all of these things. So,
Yes.
and that's part of the gratitude. Thank you that I have this wonderful bed, that I'm warm, and I can look out at the snow or the sun, whatever, and enjoy this day, this time.
Yes. And you know what the other thing is I'm grateful for? Here's the other thing. There are people right here who are looking outside going, oh no, I
Yeah,
hate this weather. And I'm thinking, you know what? When you can experience the weather, it means you're alive and you're
that's true.
functional and you're
That's
able to
true.
experience it. For that alone, we should never gripe about the weather. You will never hear me gripe about the weather.
Well, it really is useless.
Yeah,
What good will it do?
it doesn't do any.
So it's really
You're right.
backing up to persistence and gratitude and habits. Your habits, first is to be grateful, then be persistent, see your end game,
Mhm.
and do this over and over again. And you will be amazed. And it rewires your brain. The more you do something, the better you will get at every single thing. You know, it's just like when you're a child and you're learning to write in cursive. You practice and you practice. And that's the same thing with life. Practice being happy,
Mm.
practice gratitude, practice thankfulness, practice persistence. Have a plan and go for that plan. It's continuing over and over again.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that my mind is moving, so quickly that when I go to write, I pick up a writing utensil and I go to write cursive or I go to print. just, I have a hard time reading my own printing, my own handwriting. So talk about persistence. I have been going back to hand printing. So I've got a little appointment book and purposely tiny. So I've got a little like 4x6 one, and I have to really sharpen my pencil and write on the line and make sure that it is legible. And you know what? That habit, it doesn't take long because you
No,
have the skill to do everything. There's not
yes,
just
we
brain
do.
memory, there's
Yes,
muscle
we
memory,
do.
right? And you pick up that pencil and you put your mind to your extremity and you get to do it. I'm so proud of myself. I can read the entire month.
Well, and when you write, and we've talked about this
Mhm.
before, there is something with your brain when you write something that connects versus if you type or any of these things, it is so important. You, one, will remember
Yeah,
quicker, but there is something to be said, and it's proven, and you probably would have the where to even find it.
I do. So
Okay.
here's what we've got. The brain is the central nervous system top captain, and it runs from the back of your brain through your spinal column. That is your central nervous system. And from that central nervous system, out of every vertebrae that are stacked up, you have got your nerves running through there. And your nerve endings, they call that the peripheral. So you have central down the middle of your body. Everything emanating out is peripheral, out in the periphery here. And the endings of the nerves are in the hands, oh my, in the palms of the hands and the bottoms of the feet. And that's why we do reflexology, which is massage of the hands, massage of the feet, because you can really get into a zone therapy, which is very helpful. And when it comes to writing, it's not that you're not connecting your brain when you're on your keyboard, but it's different. You are
Yeah,
doing the absolute motion of everything. It's a different concentration, so it's a different kind of a pathway. I think it's fascinating.
it is fascinating. And so actually we can prove everything that we say. Thanking God. Thank you. The more you do this, we can prove this. We can No, you can prove it to yourself. We don't It's not important for us to prove it to you. It's What's
Prove it to
important is that
yourself.
you prove
Show
it
it to
to yourself.
yourself.
I challenge any single person to every single morning when you get up, you can say thank you or thank you, God. Thank you. If you say this a number of times, one, it starts your day off much better, and turn on happy music. You will be amazed if you test it. I encourage people to test this.
Yeah,
Start a day with, oh, I've got to get up in the morning or it's cold outside versus thank you, God, for another day. Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
So test it.
I think we should put people on a 7-day challenge. Start today with what Tessa and I are recommending. And if you aren't happy next week, then you call us and you let us know. We'll bring you on the show and you can tell us all about it and we will turn you around in that
Yeah,
show. 30
yeah,
minutes. I think
yes.
that would be a great idea.
I agree. I agree. And testing it.
What do you think is the most important thing in life right now for all of us to be persistent about? I mean, there's always themes in life, and I'm not talking about political stuff, but just in terms of, it's January, people are in different parts of the world, they're in different parts of the United States. But what do you think is a common theme for everybody for January if we're going to talk about persistence and habits?
Well, I think writing down your goals of what you want in life, visualizing this, being grateful for, but go to in your mind to the place where your goals are
Like for
constantly.
the year for 2021.
Yes, yes. So at the end, think about the end of the year. Where do you want to be at the end of this year? And this is not about, as you said, political or anything else. This is about you. It is so important for you personally
Mhm.
to really change your brain. No matter what's going on in the world, it's really important to love yourself too. Work at loving yourself, appreciating, and really all of the different things that have happened have made us appreciate family and friends,
Mhm.
quietness, and just appreciating where we are and
Absolutely.
what we have.
Yeah, it is amazing. There's so many things that we all take for granted. Like, for instance, my athleticism I took for granted forever because I started out as a healthy newborn and had no athletic challenges until really I got into probably graduate school, and I felt the stress mounting in my body. And so I had been a runner and a swimmer, and then it just felt like it was too much, right? So I pulled back from running for a number of years and then started it up again. But over the last several years, my athleticism, just for a number of different reasons, has waxed and waned. And it's ridiculous because we need to be athletic every single day, right?
There's a word,
Yeah. That's
persistence.
right. See? There you go. Have it.
Patience and persistence.
So what I did was, I got some really terrific healings. As a matter of fact, from one of our associates, Coco, Coco Lou, who is in a group with us, right? Our illuminated group, and unbelievable. Talk about gratitude. I feel enormous gratitude because I have got my normal gait back when I walk. I had really been stiff, and it was really holding on to a lot of energy that I didn't need, stressful thoughts and stressful feelings. And when you really let that go, it's a combination. Gratitude is really a combination of what you do in your head, in your heart, in your gut, and through your body, right?
It's
So
true.
yeah, if you're not, and I'm
Yes,
talking holism, holistic well-being,
yes,
right?
yes.
Not
It is.
limited.
It isn't just what you say, but it's what you do. It's what you think.
Mhm.
It's your gratitude. It's your persistence. So all of these words would be really good just to write down a word, gratitude, and then think about all of the things, or write all of the things you're grateful for. Think about the word persistent. What is your persistence? What do you want out of life? What are your end game?
So I am sitting here at the computer because, of course, we're online doing this show, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If we look up, I love to do this. This is such a great exercise. What if we look up the word um, persistence and find out what exactly this beautiful word means according to our friends at Google? Because sometimes they will they will tell us exactly where the word comes from. Okay, here we go. The ability to stick with something.
That's good. That's really good because that is the definition of it.
Yeah.
The ability to stick with something until you've achieved that particular goal.
So persistence can also mean something that lasts for a very long time. So I have a persistent itch in my back. It's always in the same region. As a matter of fact, as I say it right now, it's starting to come at me.
Well, it's your mind
It really is.
that's making it. You just identified it, and so it really is going to increase.
Yeah, it's the awakening.
What you focus on
Yeah,
expands.
exactly. So here's a question that they ask us. Is persistence a good quality?
Absolutely.
So the beautiful thing is, I think about this with children. One of the things that I witness with people who have problems with the behavior of their children is they're inconsistent as opposed to persistent.
Yes,
And inconsistency is very confusing to the human mind.
it is. And it is not easy when you're tired, when you work, when you're doing all of these other things, to be persistent with this child and really with an animal too. If you want to train,
Mhm.
um, it's so important to be consistent and persistent with either the behavior that you want, what you're teaching them. All of these things really make a difference in the income and the end game, rather.
Right, absolutely. I think about that and I think about the ways in which when you and I were growing up, persistence and consistency was a whole different deal than it is now.
Yeah,
We knew that we had to go to school. We used to have truancy officers. Now I never got in trouble with truancy, but I remember in grade school that there were kids who wouldn't show up and they were ditching school, and I thought, I don't even know what that means to ditch school. And the truancy officer would knock on the door of your house to see if was there anybody home, and if there was somebody home, did they know where you were, because the school didn't know where you were. Now that was a consistent theme in our culture, and you know what, Tessa, I think it made people feel like they were important because your presence matters. We want to know, if you're not here, are you okay?
true. That's very good. Yes, your presence matters.
Your presence
And
matters.
I would like to say that to every person who's listening, your presence matters. I would like to encourage every single person to be consistent and persistent in your end game, to know that you are worthy
Uh-huh.
and that it's so important to love yourself.
It is. It's absolutely important. So I am thinking to myself about all the people who listen to us around the world, and it really matters to us that you're here. Now,
That's true.
yeah, so do we see you? No. Do in our imaginations we do. Do we hear you? No, because it's a one-way broadcast, right? And but what we do see is we can look at the stats and the distribution of where we are on the backside of every episode and see where in the world are people coming from. And we've got people, about 60% of our audience is in the United States. And then they're scattered around the world to places where you and I have probably never been, which I think is really neat. So if we can deliver a loving message of kindness from us to everybody, your presence matters. The idea for Tessa and I that we have got you listening, and you know who we are through the internet, but we haven't met. But if our words can come to you and make you feel our gratitude, surely for your existence, that it matters. It's a big planet, but it's really just one little small ball up there in the
Yeah.
universe, right?
There's a song called We Are Family, which is explaining exactly what you said, that we are all connected.
Mm.
And you and I would like to encourage every single person to know that they matter, that they're worthy, and that we are so glad you're here. We're glad that we're here.
We're really glad we're here.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's funny because sometimes when we're doing our shows, I think people might look at us and say, they always talk about the same thing. They're so nice. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. It's for real. When Tessa Greenspan and I first met, we started talking about this. And when we're off air, when we're on air, we are talking about the things that we're really concerned about, that we're genuine about, that we're passionate about. And it always returns to the human condition, to people, to trying to think about ways that we can be helpful. So if 30 minutes a week, we can infiltrate your mind and your heart and tell you, you were put on the planet for a reason. You matter.
Absolutely. You are worthy. You matter.
Yeah. If there weren't other people on the planet, if it was only Tessa and I here, it wouldn't have near the depth. I mean, we couldn't accomplish anything if it was just the two of us. So the idea that we've got everybody who provides everything, including this internet connection, you and I would be sunk.
But we just wouldn't have the internet. So it's really amazing the things and how we can touch so many people. I mean, years ago, you couldn't communicate with people across the world in an instant like we can do right now. So there's so many things to be grateful for, and to see all of the things that are coming. We have no idea the things that are going to be invented, how we can communicate even more, better, so many other things. And so our message today is persistence. Go for your goals and don't quit. Don't give up. Don't hesitate. Don't stop or start. Just go for it.
You know, one of the things that I looked at here on our friend Google is persistence a good quality? And you know, one of the things that's really important to remember is there's going to be people who are out there thinking, but I have a persistently bad thought. Okay, well, guess what? You're driving that car. You own your mind. You own your thoughts. You own your brain. So, boom, turn the wheel and just snap your fingers. As a matter of fact, it was there's really true. We're talking about the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Make a fist with one hand and pound it into the open palm of your other and switch back and forth and say, I'm changing my mind. This is going to be all different. Because what you are doing is you are actually, when you do that exercise, you're using both hands. You're joining both sides of the brain and you are changing your game completely. Do it, I swear, for 30 seconds and tell me that you don't either burst out laughing or feel better and just change your whole mojo. There are so many things that we can do with our neurology, with our brain, with our physicality, with tapping. You know, take your fingers and tap under your eyes, on your cheekbones, over your eyebrows, on your skull, you know, on your collarbone, and say lovely things to yourself. What are you doing? Tapping isn't fluff. Tapping is really the psychology of neurology. And you're changing everything. You're waking up. Wake up, you know, wake up your whole body and your mind and your heart. Be persistent about it, right?
I totally agree. Yes.
Yeah. So what are you going to do today out there? We got about 2 minutes left.
I will take a walk in the warm sun a little bit later. I will sing to my friend. I will just enjoy this day. I have several other things. I have a speech coach that I have a meeting with a university professor that I do several times a week. And so I have a full day and love my life. I'm so grateful.
Well, I will be snuggled in. I went to the store, putting on another big pot of soup. I've got on 3 layers of clothes. And I'm going to have a great, great day. Tessa, it's always good to see you. I love that we do this episode together. So on behalf of everybody, I'm going to say au revoir and have a wonderful day. And we'll see you back in a week. Sing, write gratitude, and have a wonderful day.
Yes.
60 seconds.
Okay, hang with me here.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Excellent. Peace out, everybody.